I thought it was passive, and Kevin is cracking up because it is not. It is not passive at all. The laundromat dry cleaning industry is not passive. However, I did say, you know, I wanted to either look into buying a laundromat, purchasing a parking lot, or a wedding venue. And the laundromat is the thing that opened up first. So we had mentioned to the woman who does our taxes that we were looking into diversifying our income, and Kevin had mentioned, hey, Leah's always wanted to own a laundromat. And she was like, well, hey, I've got a client who actually is looking to retire and sell her laundromat. And at the time, that laundromat, our friend Reggie was interested in that laundromat as well. So we ended up going into a partnership and owning it together.
I mean, my parents are going to retire, the next decade, and I don't know how much that will be voluntary versus forced. And I would love to make sure, and by the grace of God, my wife's parents are still independent and doing their thing, and they retired a while ago, but they're also living their life. And I don't know how. I mean, they manage their money well, from my observation, but money runs out. Some people outlive their retirements, which, I mean, honestly, if that happens, I would do a backflip from joy that my in-laws outlive their retirement. And so that means I feel a certain level of responsibility and pressure, honestly, to create other streams of revenue that I don't need to take care of my family, but could also pad that opportunity for us. And so I think that for me was a big win. And so while I did not anticipate the laundromat being passive, so I never thought that, but I did think, and I still believe it's possible, right? I mean, we're in the early stages, so there are days that are harder than others. But I still believe it's possible that it may not be passive, but we are building an organization again that no customer is saying, I want Leah to write this for me. I need Kevin. And that's just very new for us. So that even the fact that we could say we could earn a portion of our money and our time is not tied to the infrastructure of the business, which means we can leave town for a week like we just did on a vacation together and the company still runs. I mean, that in and of itself is new, honestly, for us.
And then as that chapter started to close about this time last year, my wife and I sat around and were like, why not now? Because I've been talking about kind of the same topic you're hitting in this series of, I grew up around a lot of small business folks in my family or my extended family. I kind of always wanted to run a Main Street business or run a business where it's easy to explain to my neighbors or my family members or people that I'm working to or selling to. And so then I started going down this path, and it's been quite a journey. If you fast, I can't believe it's already been a year basically since I kicked it off.
Yeah. So I remember, and I'm sure, especially when it comes to conversations with your spouse, those conversations start far before you tell other people about them. But I remember us grabbing coffee, probably 15, 18 months ago. And you were telling me, here's what I really want to do. And I love it when people vocalize to others, here's a plan that I have, and then they later put that plan in motion. So you mentioned having people in your life that were entrepreneurs. Where were you in life when that itch really started to show up? Like, describe where you were in life when you're like, this is moving from something that I may do at some point in time to I'm thinking now might be the time.
I think some of it was circumstantial, meaning I was getting older. Like, every year goes by, every job takes a few years of your journey. And I've got 2 little kids now that I envision what life could be like if I can build it 5, 10, 20 years from now. But man, you got to get started at some point. And I kept thinking, if I go back and find, even if it's an amazing job with an amazing team solving cool problems, that's another tour of duty or, chunk of time that I'm not committing to starting this thing, whatever this thing is, because I didn't know at the time. I think with my wife's encouragement, and she's heard this, maybe a lot of people with their spouses or their friends or their partners, they've heard this thing a lot over the years. And so I think she was excited to see kind of a natural opening between one door closing and what is the next one, to say, it's not now or never, but it's getting there. At some point, I got to get started on where I want to be. So ultimately she gave me the confidence. I tried to manifest some of that confidence, even if I don't have it every day, to go for it. And again, I went down a journey of a path of what am I trying to get into? What type of businesses do I want to buy? What type of work do I want to do on a daily basis? And what are those characteristics? And we're not going to bore you with all that today, but it did lead to some interesting almosts, almost got got here with an acquisition, or almost got here with another seller, and then eventually made my way into the franchise that we can talk about today.